otherwise forever. Like San Francisco for a while for me, I was like, I'm never going back to San Francisco
what
again.
happened in San Francisco?
Felt the same way about
right?
San Diego. I'm like, it's dead to me.
I think what has to happen is you need to go back to San Diego, for example.
I did. I went back and I
experiences.
owned San Diego. I took it back from
Oh.
all those bad experiences.
You made it yours.
And I made it mine.
San Diego,
That's-
you're mine.
I made San Diego my bitch.
All right, so I'm going to make Mario and Jones my bitch.
Yeah.
Do
It
it.
doesn't sound
Do
the
it.
same when I say it. It's not quite as badass as
Yeah,
when
you're really
Mario
tough.
says it.
You're like laughing and smiling and
Like,
feeling a little
oh,
apprehensive
yay.
about saying it. Marion Johns is going to be my bitch.
I learned how to order a real martini there. That was a good thing.
With the new bartender
right?
from Portland.
Yeah, it turns out he's not actually from Portland.
His beard's just from
he just-
Portland. His beard and flannel are both from Portland.
Oh my god! Hey, there's a headline on this magazine that says "Art in Abundance," and it reminds me to ask Heather about her.
I thought I was going to escape this topic.
No.
Yeah,
but
no.
We kind of we
No.
joke and we do it in a very nice way, but you know, there's a thing in
A
Petaluma.
purpose.
Like there's there's two groups of people, basically people who understand what art is supposed to be about, and the people who just hate everything.
Well,
Pretty
I
much.
want.
Did
I
you
want to
just do that?
I know. I want to clarify that because I don't. This is Heather Mackin, and I don't support that announcement.
Okay, please.
Only because I think that there's very passionate people on both sides of the topic. What just happened with the table?
Phil's
I'm just
over
being
there
weird.
getting it.
Weird.
I was going to say something. Really
I know. Oh my
sorry.
god!
Back to the art.
This is a family show.
It's not.
I
a
would,
family show.
I would totally. That'd be impressive, but no. Table weighs about 600 pounds.
Wow, that's mighty. Anyways, there's very passionate people on both sides of this particular art conversation. I think that those same people that might be on one side or the other could be vehemently opposed or
Are we talking
Or
about
on
the
the same
stupid,
thing.
stupid bathtubs?
we are talking about the stupid bathtubs.
Since you brought it up. Let me just throw this disclaimer out there that I have my own personal opinions, and I also have
I'm
this
neutral.
idea that I hold a space for everybody in the conversation about art. Again,
Yeah.
pro or con,
Sure.
this particular topic or anything. But
So, Phil, do you know that I actually sit on the public art committee for the city?
I do not know.
So that's
There must have been a lot of debate.
what are you doing?
there has been
I'm working on my phone.
there has been
What
What does it look like?
I don't know that debate has been really happening. I think there's
I mean,
been,
controversy is a
there's
good thing
been controversy.
from the
Yes.
standpoint of it generates interest as well. I mean,
absolutely.
and that's a good conversation to have. It's better to have a conversation about art than no conversation.
Okay, a
at all.
conversation is different than what's happening right now. I think this is where I start getting upset, regardless of what my opinion is of whether we should or should not have this thing move forward. I don't particularly care for the level of quote conversation that's happening or maybe the way it's happening. I mean, like personally for you, for example, you know, I'm not even in the middle of it, but when I hear stories about anybody, you or anybody else getting, you know, hate mail or having conversations
Yeah, that's a
about
bit
it's
extreme.
that's when I start
It happens.
becoming like
Oh my God.
really upset
I've-
over
I've-
it. So
Aside from Instagram, which you
I'm gonna
got
put
my
your
handle.
corpse in that bathtub.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get
it's
a
been
crane and drag
it's
you
honestly
up
been close. It's been close.
there. Wow.
There's been some really pretty major vitriol out there and directed at commissioners. There's commissioners that have been because they have their phone numbers listed
Dude,
publicly.
welcome to 2019, man. People are
yeah.
the trolliness
It's
of
a lot of trolls. It's all
the
online.
crazy
I've
people
gotten
are-
off of social media. I've gotten off of Nextdoor. I feel like that is a
Nextdoor's
cesspool
awful.
for toxicity.
Yeah,
I mean,
agree.
it's really horrible.
Do you hear her language? She's
Yeah.
so fancy with her
I know.
words.
Sorry.
No, I love
cesspools
it.
totally.
Shane said plethora earlier, and I was like, oh, shit, I need to
That's
step
so-
up my vocab.
That's Shane.
Shane. This wouldn't be a podcast at Color Street if we didn't have at least 5 minutes of conversation about Shane.
Fucking Shane.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so
yeah,
I do feel
it's been rough. It's been pretty divisive. We actually had a meeting last night that about totally different art. We had a couple organizations come in and ask for grants, which we were really excited to grant. We granted some money to Rivertown Revival and to the Petaluma Art Center to do
Nice.
for Rivertown to really scale their event, and for Petaluma Art Center to start a program that could potentially really take off.
Nice.
For them
They
to
need
really
that.
garner some community awareness engagement.
Are we done with the bathtubs?
Yeah, we're done with the bathrooms because we didn't even talk about the bathtubs last night. That was my point.
Oh,
Which is nice.
If
It's
you
probably
wanna go there,
refreshing.
that's gotta be
It was really
nice.
refreshing. So we have 2 new art projects that are also happening.
Non-bathtub art.
Non-bathtub art. So
Nice.
we have we had awarded a commission to a couple of local artists to do a mural on the Keller Street garage.
Oh, nice.
No, I'm super stoked.
So
about that.
we're still in the process of sort of conceptualizing, or they are conceptualizing what that art will look like, because we don't exactly know what part of the garage they can use.
Well, what's
as
with
their
the mural
canvas.
down on the new place at the south end of town?
So the artist that
I mean, that's fantastic.
one of the artists that is
Honestly,
part
it's
of that
kind of
group.
wasted down there on that.
Well, I don't know about that. I've
it's
always used that exit and entrance
too.
to the freeway
I miss
there.
Reinhardt's. They used to have Pilmany, the truck stop.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
going way back. Yeah.
So
He's like a
that is
child.
actually technically outside of town. So the art committee didn't have anything to do with that.
Oh, okay.
But that artist, Max Phil Ybarrolaza, is one of the artists that is doing the garage.
Oh, great.
With
no,
another-
the artist is great. The
with-
canvas is like a storage facility.
But that's
Yes.
okay. But it's
Public storage.
it's a gateway. It's a gateway.
No, it is. It's welcome to town. It's definitely.
So the other artist that is doing that's leading the garage is Ryan Peterson, who has a very different style of art. His art, he's also a muralist. He does a little more abstract stuff and has done a lot of work for Lagunitas. He's got some cool stuff. So these are 2 local
And they're
guys.
collaborating,
And they're
right?
collaborating on this piece.
Wow.
So it's really exciting, and we're excited to see how
I'm
that
interested
manifests.
to see how people with 2 totally different styles
Yeah,
collaborate. I
we are
always love
too.
that, yeah.
We are too.
And
Yeah.
what's the other project?
Is the renowned David Best is doing a project with us. He is showed us his final concept drawing last night of a really beautiful arch that will span the entrance to the Lynch Creek Trail off of Lakeville over by the Hunson Barron
Oh, yeah.
mill.
The mill.
So like right across from the pet hospital there on Lakeville.
Right.
So we're really excited about that. That's,
Nice.
we have these renowned artists in Petaluma, and to get permanent pieces of their work here in town is really exciting.
I think it's cool. I just think
Well, you
know-
got to tour the sculptor's place, right?
Oh yeah, that was fun. We went on a Keller Street field trip over to where they built
Kevin's place.
Kevin's place. What is
Kevin's
this?
place.
Reardon Steel.
Ridden.
I'm trying to think of his last name again.
Clark.
Clark. I don't know why.
Did he do
it's
the
like
Coke
the easiest
bottle?
name ever.
Somebody did the Coke bottle for.
Oh, really?
Pac-Bell.
From Petaluma?
Yeah, it was from Petaluma, and they barged it out to San Francisco.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'll ask
Oh,
around. I'm not sure.
Interesting.
Yep.
That was an interesting field trip. His property, I was surprised, because I've driven by it for 8 years, right? And you see all the big giant sculptures that are like right out on the street,
That
right?
you
yeah.
just finished seeing all over Instagram.
Right.
And they're like, oh shit, this stuff
It's
is right
amazing.
here.
Right here,
It's
yeah,
real.
from Burning Man, right? But to go inside and see all of it was literally like walking into Willy Wonka's place,
Yeah.
like just to see all the different pieces.
You
In fact,
know,
I took
Danielle,
like
there
500
are
photos.
several artists here in town that have studios that are very similar, or warehouses. It is like being inside of Willy Wonka's
Yeah, it was
factory.
so cool.
It is so cool to see like the back end, like the mind of artists.
Right. Yeah, I loved it. In fact, there should be, how they do art trails every year in Sonoma
yeah.
County? There should just be a version of that
There
for
is.
Petaluma that,
Petaluma Art Center. I used to sit on the board of the Petaluma Art Center. So we had done some tours. I think we had toured Matt Devine's studio. Do you know his artwork? He's incredible. He does some abstract metal sculptures, and he's down by the Foundry Wharf. I think there was a tour of Michael Garlington's studio, which he's
Yeah,
incredible
he's
too.
crazy.
There's so many great artists
I know.
around that.
it's definitely like people, I feel, people in the creative world kind of know this. But unless you're in that world or talking to people in that world, you don't know. And like, there's just some cool shit happening in Petaluma that most people don't know about it. I feel like you should like evangelize that more.
Oh, I evangelize it all the time. Hello, I heart Petaluma.
I heart Petaluma.
Like maybe that's what it is. It needs to be the tour URL.
I know. A friend of mine recently, going back to the Oakland thing, a friend of mine recently gave me a really badass shirt that's all like Old English and it says Oakland versus everybody. Because I get really pissed when people talk shit about Oakland.
Yeah,
I love
totally.
Oakland.
Because Oakland's a rad place.
Yes.
And but I feel really guilty wearing it. Because I'm like, really, it should be Oakland versus everybody except Petaluma.
Except Petaluma.
Except
I know,
Petaluma,
Petaluma's like a nice
Oakland
little...
and Petaluma versus everybody.
Right? I'll just put a little ampersand Petaluma.
It's so funny. You bring up this idea that I have, and I once a month I invite other local business owners in here, and we just have coffee, mostly downtown business owners, although it's not limited to that. And we are always just kind of brainstorming about how we can do something really cool downtown. And kind of, there's this gap between the old generation business owners here and kind of our newer progressive way of doing business. Not that we have better ideas. It's just different, right? And I keep trying to tell everybody, it's just more about bridging that gap. It's not that we want to be, get rid of all of these old business owners. So anyway, we have these conversations. And one of the things I brought up this Oakland thing a couple of weeks ago. I was like, we need to do like First Fridays, like what they do in Oakland.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
Wouldn't that be great? And wouldn't it be great to get a bunch of people to figure out, like, the first thing is like, let's have this idea and get a bunch of interest with the business owners down here. And then do we take it to either the Downtown Association or to the City of Petaluma and figure out, like, who can we talk to just start that conversation and that type of thing. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah. Marie McCusker.
Yes.
ED of Petaluma Downtown Association. We're talking to you. She also has a daughter named Ruby. So we have a connect.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Well, I would love to meet her actually. She's
a kick in the pants.
That's what I hear. I should invite her to one of our lunches because it's always like, for me, just being a new business down here, I'm still trying to navigate the way, like, for example, the idea of the Petaluma Downtown Association is really great to me. Like, but I don't understand how it works yet. I just haven't really dove into it. So kind of like,
well, what are you doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow is the butter and eggs day.
They're kind of throwing a big thing tomorrow.
Butter and eggs, motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's a big freaking deal.
I call that Petaluma Day.
That is kind of, it's Petaluma weekend, right? Because it's Antique Day the next day.
Yeah, right. But I mean, that parade.
Did you just tap
I know. Can you see what I just did?
Oh my God.
I gave her the whole like rundown before we started about don't tap on the microphone.
Like, sensitive. I'm like, I'm putting my wine glass down too heavy.
I almost threw the wine in your face for doing that. I'm sorry. Butter and eggs.
Yes.
Butter and eggs.
We're actually going to have a booth on the parade route, us here at Keller Street Co-work.
Where?
Right down on Western, kind of over by Andreessen's.
Okay.
And it's just more about, but this is what's so sweet. Last year, this time was right before we opened. It was the week before we opened.
Sweet Jesus, this is the first butter and eggs for Keller Street Co-work.
Yes, but here's what I did last year. We hadn't even opened the doors yet. I had some brochures that we were doing, and I have a friend who had, well, not just a friend, my ex-husband, but the father of my son, and his boys, all his boys, I gave them little flyers, little guys walking around town handing out flyers that we were opening the next day. And they were so excited to do it. So then we opened a week later and we had a big kind of party. And I'd like to think that their efforts actually increased the number of people at our party. But
yeah, well, no one kicks kids and say, no, I don't want your garbage, kid.
Right.
So this year we're going to have a booth and we'll just be, handing out collateral and candy.
A
oh my
parade
God.
Of like Shane and Buka and you. And
throwing out Mardi Gras.
We should do a float next year.
Oh, can we please?
Yeah,
I'm all about. Yes.
Do you want to take that on as a project?
No.
Can we give
float
it to Shane?
And everybody can sit like in.
Let's give it to Andy. He's about to quit his job. So
poor Andy.
I know. He's supposed to do a meetup with me too.
Oh, he's getting so great.
He's getting a tattoo this afternoon.
Really?
Yeah, I said, are you going to be at Keller today? Or are you coming to the happy hour? And he sent me a picture of him getting inked up.
Getting inked up.
Yeah.
I'm like, getting an I Heart Petaluma tattoo.
He better not. That's mine.
I know. Remove that shit or I'm
going to sue you.
I'm going to scrape that shit off you.
Oh my God.
Turn it into a badger instead.
I'm not going to lie. I had decided we were going to be part of the parade, part of the route, right? But I told Natalie and Becky and Maddie, so the wonderful people who helped me here. And I said, okay, we're going to be a part of the parade. And by we, I mean you guys.
You're a dick.
I am.
know.
I will say. I
Wait a
mean,
minute,
most
Maddie helps
everybody's
around here?
yelling. Be nice.
I hope she doesn't listen to this.
Most everybody yells at me because I don't delegate enough. But when it comes to this, I'm going to come here early in the morning. I'm going to help set up the booth, and then I'm leaving.
I saw your Instagram story.
We're
last night.
And
gonna buy
I'm
Maddie
not-
an alarm clock.
Man, I hope she
know.
shows up. I really hope she shows up.
Fingers crossed.